Fox Pointe. We are making history here today, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to each of you for being part of this ceremony and celebrating with us. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate it. It is my honor to be Mayor of Lansing on this day of joy and celebration. In the early planning stages of this grand space, we looked at similar facilities in Valparaiso, Munster, Homewood, and several other communities. Through my eyes, our very own Fox Pointe is the grandest of them all. It's amazing. I hope you can see this multi-use venue with the vision many of us have, with festivals, performances, concerts, and other gatherings, all to make Lansing a true destination. It is my pleasure to introduce our village officials to you, ladies and gentlemen. First we have, folks, if you'd please stand when I call your name, I'd appreciate it. Our village clerk, Vivian Payne. Trustee Tony De Laurentiis. Trustee Mike Scrabina. Trustee Mike Mano. Trustee Brian Hardy. Trustee Jerry Zeldin-Rust. Trustee Maureen Grady-Karovich. We also have with us Dan Podgorski, our village administrator. And Mr. Ken Reynolds, our executive assistant and director of communications. It is also our pleasure to have these fine folks on my right, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to introduce you to Illinois Senator from the 17th District, L.G. Sims. We also have with us Mr. Frank Zuccarelli, Thornton Township Supervisor. Illinois State Representative Nicholas Smith. Our tardy child, State Representative Marcus Evans, Jr. We also have the Director of South Suburban Mayors and Managers, Christy De Laurentiis. And our thanks to Mayor Robert Polk from Burnham for joining us. Thank you, Mayor. The other two gentlemen will be introduced to you later. Our village engineer, Jeff Pintar, and Mr. Jim Maciejewski from JMA Architects. Thank you all for being here with us today, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate it. I also wanted to mention Mr. John Ryan. I don't see John in the audience. John is from Ives Ryan. He's the landscape architect for this project. One more person I wanted to mention is Bonita Parker. Bonita, I talked to her yesterday. She told me she was going to try to make it. Bonita is the ComEd External Affairs Manager, and she was instrumental in 2014 of getting a ComEd award for Lansing for a Green Region program, a $10,000 grant, which we did use on Fox Pointe. And so now, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It is also my pleasure to embarrass an old friend of mine who just joined us on the stage. Even more tardy than Marcus Evans is Mr. Travis Bandstra. I'm going to turn this back over to Mr. Reynolds. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again very much for being here.
We have three speakers that we want to bring up that are going to represent kind of a timeline of this project, again, from the beginning to where we're at this evening. And the first one we want to bring up is the former Economic Director for the Village of Lansing. He is now the Economic and Community Development Director for the City of Oak Forest, and his vision was very important in getting this project started. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Travis Bandstra.
Thanks, Ken, and I want to thank Mayor Eidam and the trustees just for the invitation to come back here and share a few thoughts. It's really incredible to stand here on this stage more than 4 years after the planning efforts for this began. And I've since moved on to a different role, but still live here in the community, and it's just a really incredibly proud moment to see this momentous occasion. So I guess the good thing about this dreary weather is it means it's fall, which means it's time for Autumn Fest, right? In just 1 week, so we can celebrate that. But it's really incredible. I think what to me is most incredible about this is to see a community's vision come together, and that's really what this place is all about. There was a lot of people that had so many roles in this, and I can think back to the first drawings and think about how different this place is than the first drawings. And that's a great thing because it means there were so many people involved in giving input, so many meetings, so many discussions, so many community members, so many groups, the Chamber of Commerce, LACE, Visible Music College, and so many residents who gave their feedback and their input about how this place could be so great for Lansing. And so I've been at a number of meetings with folks around the region who have heard about this place, and it's put Lansing on the map in ways it's never been in the past. But the greatest thing is about what this place can mean for the residents, for us, the residents of Lansing, for many years and decades to come. And so again, I'm really honored to just have had the opportunity to have been involved in this project. A really incredible opportunity to work with Robinson Engineering, with JMA Architects, and Ives Ryan landscape consultants, and I want to commend them as well as all of the wonderful contractors for all of their great work. So again, this is really proof of what collaborative spirit and community vision can bring about. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to just be part of this, and congrats to the Village of Lansing.
First, I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Eidam, the trustees, the administration, the staff, past administration, for entrusting this monumental project to JMA Architects. This type of project, they don't happen very often, and when you have a chance to work on something of this magnitude, this type of civic responsibility, it's something that we take a lot of pride in. We're really proud of how it turned out for Lansing. I'd like to thank Ryan Bruni and Jerry Maciejewski, our construction managers, who are on site, and the many dedicated tradesmen, many from Lansing and the surrounding areas, who worked on the facilities and the structures to make it what it is. And I'd like to take a time to thank Jeff Pintar and John Ryan, if he were here. A lot of phone calls, emails, design sketches, a lot of versions. Travis mentioned a lot of different versions of plans to get this to the right spot. I think back to the first concepts, and then going through a round of discussions with stakeholders from the community back in 2017. Some of the big comments from those stakeholder meetings of what everybody wanted to see come out of this project for Lansing was they really wanted this to be an anchor for the downtown, to create a sense of place within Lansing, to create a space that would be a destination for people in the surrounding communities to want to come to throughout the years, to be able to support many types of activities and events. And I think that what has been created here will serve that purpose. The design is intended to pull some characteristics of other Lansing facilities. The Village Hall, you'll see some similarities in the type of brick, the light fixtures, some of the different finishes. We really tried to create a brand of village architecture here that would start to tie together village facilities. This amphitheater is set up to support anything from movie night in the park through the rock band to the large symphony orchestra that might occupy the whole stage. Where we would like to see this in the future would be to support as many types of activities that will draw to the downtown area to bring more activity and more business into Lansing. And I'll close by reminiscing a little bit about a time in my high school days when I was an aspiring musician and I got a chance to stand on a stage and play the guitar for a festival in my hometown of Calumet City, thinking how exciting that was, and hoping that some inspired youth musician will have the same opportunity on this platform. Thank you.
I too would like to thank the mayor, trustees, village clerk, administrator, elected officials, and all of you for coming out today, taking time out of your day to celebrate this special day with us, this ribbon cutting for Fox Pointe. Robinson Engineering was just one part of the team that helped put this Fox Pointe development together. I want to acknowledge my design team, some of who are here today, for helping me and the village put this great development together. A lot of times the elected officials, village staff just see my face around town, but I want to take a quick moment to tell you that Robinson Engineering is a team of 170 professionals and support staff that work tirelessly for the village. It's not just me. So thank you to my design team for really helping the village out and putting this together. From a civil engineering standpoint, the exciting stuff, as Ken likes to refer to us, we had a lot of great aspects of civil engineering in this project. We realigned a roadway, site lighting, bioretention facilities, if you know what that means, multiple parking lots. This project really has it all from a civil engineering aspect. And again, thank you to my team, the team of architects and design engineers that put this together. Just as I'm one person at Robinson, Robinson was just one part of the team to put this together. So I too want to thank Jim from JMA Architects and his team, John Ryan from Ives Ryan and his team. We definitely faced a lot of challenges in putting this design together. But together, working with good people, you could face those challenges and overcome them. I'm lucky enough to have sat in meetings with elected officials, staff members for the last 13 years. Fox Pointe was just in its infancy stage at that time, but I know the village at that time had grand plans for this space. I know the village started assembling properties for this development long before I was even working with the village. For me, it started with the realignment of the Henry Grant Street intersection at Ridge Road, putting a traffic signal there and making that really the center of the downtown area. And then when the Pensy Greenway bike path came in, we routed it around the Fox Pointe development space, not right through the middle of it, knowing that someday something big, something special was going to come here. So I know we talked about 2014. This has been an ongoing process for many, many years. I'm excited to see this come to fruition. Thank you, the mayor, for allowing me to be part of this special project. The Fox Pointe development is something that the village and the residents should be proud of. I know I am. Thank you.
I want to touch on something that Travis mentioned earlier, and that is how plans for development evolve over time. Does anybody remember when Fox Home Lumber was located just to the north of us? Who remembers that? So that's really kind of how the story of Fox Pointe actually comes together, if you didn't know it. Back in the early 2000s, when a certain tall Polish gentleman was the mayor of this town, we got approached by the Park District, Denny Flanagan, who was a longtime Park District commissioner, and John Wilson, their executive director. We sat down and looked at the old Conrail rail line that ran through this village and was abandoned, and put together a game plan to purchase it from the rail line and turn it into the bike path and the street extensions that it has become. And that was really the beginning of Fox Pointe, because we realized at that point in time that there was something special, as Jeff just alluded to. You had a large usable space right in your downtown, and even though there wasn't a Fox Pointe name at the time, you knew something big was going to come. So we began to assemble some land, buying out some of the lots that are just to the south of you here, which makes up part of Fox Pointe and makes up the expanded parking lot. Around the early 2000s, we were approached by a petitioner that wanted to put a boat and RV storage on this property. And he was pretty insistent that Lansing really needed to say yes to the project, that, what else were we gonna do with a vacant Fox Home Lumber in the middle of our downtown. And Wisely, we told that petitioner, thanks but no thanks. Not knowing what it was going to be at the time, but you knew that the highest and best use of this property was something other than boat and RV storage. So again, as Travis mentioned, sometimes the path to development takes a lot of years, it takes a long time, it spans a long period of time, but I think we can all look back and say we're happy that those decisions were made at the time. So again, hey, moving to 2019 and beyond, as some of us have mentioned here, what you can look forward to from your Fox Pointe in the months and the years to come. As we mentioned earlier, Autumn Fest, and then moving into next year, really, you know, it's your wildest imagination is what we can do here. There will be music of all kinds. There will be free musical performances. I'm sure we'll have some ticketed performances as we reach out and find out just who's willing to come to Lansing, Illinois and perform here. We intend to have a top-notch concession stand. There's going to be festivals. We could have playoff watch parties here. We could have food truck fests. We could have beer and wine tastings. We could have a wintertime festival. As you know, there's Santa Claus House is located just to our north. We could have Halloween fests. There's really no end to what you can have here. Expect to see that Fox Pointe will have its own website, and we will have staff dedicated to its success. The one thing I do want to mention is we are currently working on and will continue to work on is parking and lots of it. We'll be working cooperatively with private parking lot owners that have existing lots. We'll be dedicating, of course, there's a lot of municipal lots already in the downtown, and we're pursuing new parking lots adjacent to this area. As was mentioned earlier, Lansing is now a destination for entertainment, not just for our own residents, but for our neighbors as well. We want them to come here, and we want them to leave some of their money here. So we're working really hard to try to engage businesses to come to our downtown to supplement Fox Pointe. When the concerts are over, we don't want those people going home. We want them walking up to Ridge Road and spending money at some restaurants, maybe some microbrews, some wine bars, and then if they've had too much, we want them to go stay at our hotels and spend some more money here. So there is an active game plan, and that's what we're working on. Pleasure to be here, great to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
You know, folks, when we're doing something like this and trying to organize and not leave anyone out, there's even today when we were realizing that some people weren't going to make it because of traffic or the weather or whatever, there's one more person in the audience that I would like to invite to come up and help us cut the ribbon. Mr. Jim Garrett from Chicago South End Convention and Visitors Bureau. Jim, can you join us? You can have my chair. Thank you. And again, all of you are so special to us because you came out for this. I wanted to ask Evan, where's Evan from LNN? Evan, could you come up here and get a picture of all these people for us? These people are just as important as those of us up here. Our elected officials, our dignitaries, our state elected officials, our state representatives, and even our speakers. They represent you and hundreds of others that were in on this project from the original vision, the planning, and the construction, and now here we all are today. So thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank all of you for being here with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give this microphone back to Mr. Reynolds. He's going to help us with a countdown. If everyone that's up here on the stage could please grab a piece of this ribbon, and we're going to cut it. Afterwards, ladies and gentlemen, we'll cut the ribbon into as many pieces as we need to so that everyone here can have a piece if they want to.
I'm going to ask all of you to give me a countdown from 5. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Fox Pointe.